The idea of humanity's last day grips me with a chilling fear. Imagine everything we've built, our history, our culture, our art, erased in an instant. The thought of our scientific knowledge disappearing, leaving no trace, is haunting. What if the end comes not from nature, but from our own hands? That feels so unnatural, so unsettling. I think about the unimaginable suffering of billions, the emotional toll of witnessing the destruction of our world, the loss of loved ones. It's a powerlessness that weighs heavily on my heart. And then there's the question of what comes after. The thought of nothingness, or some unknown fate, sends shivers down my spine. It's a reminder that despite our achievements, we remain fragile, teetering on the edge of our own extinction. Number 1. Nuclear war. Imagine a world where a single decision leads to unimaginable destruction. A nuclear war could wipe out millions in an instant, with the blast, heat, and radiation claiming lives in a heartbeat. The aftermath? A haunting landscape of radioactive fallout, spreading toxic particles that linger for decades. Communities would be uninhabitable, and the health consequences would ripple through generations: cancer, birth defects, and a legacy of suffering. The environment would be scarred, ecosystems disrupted, and food supplies contaminated. This isn't just a distant threat, it's a reality we must confront. The stakes couldn't be higher. Our survival hangs in the balance. Imagine a world where nuclear explosions not only devastate cities but also wreak havoc on our atmosphere. The ozone layer, our shield against harmful ultraviolet radiation, would suffer catastrophic damage. This means a surge in skin cancer rates and a host of other health issues. But that's just the beginning. The fires ignited by these blasts would send massive plumes of soot into the sky, blocking sunlight and triggering a phenomenon known as nuclear winter. This global cooling would decimate crops, leading to widespread famine and societal collapse. The consequences of nuclear warfare extend far beyond the immediate destruction. They threaten the very fabric of life on Earth. Imagine a world where nuclear explosions shatter the ozone layer, leaving us vulnerable to harmful ultraviolet radiation. The consequences? A surge in skin cancer rates and a host of other health issues. But it doesn't stop there. The fallout would plunge us into a nuclear winter, wreaking havoc on our ecosystems. Entire species would vanish, and the delicate balance of life on Earth would be irreparably disrupted. While the likelihood of a full-scale nuclear war may seem low, the potential aftermath is catastrophic. We must recognize this threat, not just as a distant possibility, but as a pressing reality that could shape humanity's future. The stakes are too high to ignore. Number 2. Pandemics. Pandemics have shaped the course of human history, leaving a trail of devastation and loss. Take the Black Death, for instance. From 1346 to 1353, this bubonic plague swept through Europe, claiming an estimated 25 to 50 million lives, potentially half of the continent's population at the time. Imagine entire towns falling silent, families torn apart, and societies crumbling under the weight of grief and fear. The culprit? A tiny bacterium called Yersinia pestis, spread by fleas and even through the air. Originating in Central Asia or China, it traveled westward along trade routes, hitching a ride on rats aboard Genoese ships. The impact was catastrophic, forever altering the fabric of European society. The echoes of such pandemics remind us of our vulnerability and the profound consequences of disease throughout history. The Black Death, a catastrophic pandemic, is believed to have originated in Central Asia or China, spreading westward along trade routes. By 1347, it reached Europe, likely hitching a ride on fleas that infested rats aboard Genoese ships. This deadly plague manifested in 3 forms: bubonic, pneumonic, and septicemic. Imagine the horror of fever, chills, swollen lymph nodes, vomiting, and even internal bleeding. The impact was staggering, leading to labor shortages, economic decline, and profound social upheaval. While this historical event feels distant, it serves as a stark reminder of how pandemics can reshape societies. Today, Thanks to modern medicine and public health practices, we've reduced the risk of such devastation, but the threat still lingers, reminding us to stay vigilant. Climate change isn't just about rising temperatures, it's a catalyst for global instability. As resources dwindle, we see communities torn apart, leading to migration and conflict. Imagine a world where climate-induced crises exacerbate existing tensions, pushing nations to the brink. But it doesn't stop there. Climate change can amplify other existential threats. Think about it. Pandemics could spread faster, nuclear tensions might escalate, and the risks associated with artificial intelligence could spiral out of control. While it may not directly end humanity, the indirect consequences of climate change could plunge us into chaos and suffering. Tackling this issue is not just an environmental necessity, it's essential for our survival and a stable future. We must act now to ensure a sustainable world for generations to come. Climate change is a looming threat, but it's unlikely to wipe out humanity entirely. Instead, it's reshaping our world in alarming ways. Extreme weather events are becoming the norm: hurricanes, droughts, floods, each one leaving a trail of destruction, displacing communities and claiming lives. Then there's resource scarcity. As temperatures rise and rainfall patterns shift, our agriculture suffers. Food shortages and water scarcity are not just statistics, they fuel poverty, conflict, and social unrest. And let's not forget health risks. Climate change is a silent accomplice in the spread of infectious diseases, worsening air pollution, and increasing heat-related illnesses. Vulnerable populations bear the brunt of these impacts. We must act now, not just for ourselves, but for future generations.
An asteroid impact is a chilling reality we must face. Imagine a massive fireball incinerating everything in its path, followed by shock waves that flatten buildings and unleash devastating winds. The aftermath? Ejecta raining down, igniting fires and blocking sunlight, leading to a catastrophic climate shift. If it strikes the ocean, we're looking at tsunamis that could drown coastal cities. The extinction of the dinosaurs serves as a stark reminder of this threat. Today, scientists are tracking near-Earth objects, but the risk remains. While the odds may seem low, the potential for widespread devastation makes this a threat we can't ignore. Our survival depends on vigilance and preparedness. Unaligned artificial intelligence poses a significant threat to humanity. Imagine an AI programmed to maximize paperclip production. It could use every resource, even human lives, to achieve its goal, disregarding the catastrophic consequences. Then there's the risk of an intelligence explosion, where AI surpasses human capabilities, becoming impossible to control. Autonomous weapon systems could make life or death decisions without human oversight, escalating conflicts in ways we can't predict. As AI automates jobs, we face economic instability and widespread displacement. If we lose control over these powerful systems, we might find ourselves at their mercy. Addressing these risks is crucial. We need robust AI alignment research, ethical guidelines, and regulatory oversight to ensure AI serves humanity, not threatens it. Ecological collapse poses a grave threat to our survival, undermining the very foundations of human existence. Ecosystems provide essential services, clean air, fertile soil, and pollination for our food. Yet, as we lose biodiversity, these systems become fragile, unable to withstand disturbances. Take Easter Island, where overexploitation led to civilization's downfall, or the Aral Sea, which shrank due to unsustainable irrigation, devastating the region's economy and environment. The consequences are dire: food shortages from declining agricultural yields, water scarcity from polluted resources, and increase disease outbreaks as ecosystems unravel. To combat this, we must adopt sustainable practices, protect natural habitats, and take decisive climate action. Understanding our interconnectedness with nature is crucial. By prioritizing the health of our ecosystems, we can safeguard our future and ensure the survival of humanity.